What is up, Konnekt7 Tribe? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 14, titled Problem Dumping. Now, I have to give a shout out to Kyle because he was the one who actually suggested this topic. I reached out to him as well. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I was reaching out to some people in the tribe, and I was just like, hey guys, what are a few topics that you think would help yourself and those around you? And he suggested also a really great topic, problem dumping. Now, before I even tell you what that is, we're gonna get through the announcements and the fun fact. So the announcements, if you haven't already, just follow the Konnekt7 page on Instagram, on YouTube, and everywhere else. Wherever you can listen to a podcast, I'm sure Konnekt7 is there. Also, as well, you can also become a patron if you want to support the podcast. So our goal right now is to have at least $1,000 a month coming in for the podcast. So if you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. And also as well, if you become a patron, this helps with ongoing production fees, hosting costs, hiring a video editor, a studio for the podcast, and new equipment for the studio. Now, you can pledge either $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 is up to you. I know we got some, people with some big money out there. So if you want to throw a couple of thousands, that works too. You know what I mean? The money will go for great causes. But pretty much anything helps, guys. So let us get into this. Y'all know my notes on the bottom, so I gotta look in here. So now let's get into the fun fact, which I find it to be, I'm curious now, but you'll see why. So the fun fact is Ronald McDonald is Donald McDonald in Japan because it makes pronunciation easier for the Japanese. Ever since the first McDonald's opened in Japan in 1971, the mascot has been called Donald McDonald. Often Japanese people are surprised to learn he has a different name everywhere else. That's just weird to me. Old boy is always Ronald McDonald, but if I go, to Japan and I was like, oh, we're gonna have Donald McDonald's stuff. I'm not, but just to say it. That's interesting. When I think of Donald, I think of Donald Duck. That's his name, right? Or Daffy. Is it one of them? I can't remember, but I can't think of, Ronald gonna be Ronald. Donald it's a nah for me. So let us get into this episode. Okay, so again, thank you, Kyle, for this episode. I'm actually really excited to talk about this because I know I have experienced this on both ends in the sense of doing it and also receiving it. So what is problem dumping? Now, it is people dumping their problems on you without them resolving it themselves after you've told them the solutions. Now, I like Kyle's words better. Kyle said, in Kyle's words, he says, people living rent-free in your head. And I like how he phrased that because on the end of receiving it, it is kind of like people living rent-free in your head. They come in, they're just saying all this stuff, moving all your furniture around, and they just making a mess. And it's just like, bitch, not only that, but you're just in here. So that's one thing about that. That's just a whole other topic. But I like his phrase better. So I know I have been here, and I'm pretty sure all of us have been here. And if you say you haven't, you lying. And if you lying, then you probably one of the ones who out here problem dumping. So let us get into some examples of what problem dumping is. Now, I'm gonna give it to you from both angles, the one who has been dumping the problems and the one who has had the problems dumped on them. Now, I have always, as a person who connects with people, I just hear everything from people. It's not a bad thing. I'm used to it in my line of work, right? And for me, I listen so I can find solutions. And when you tell me what your problems are, I will give you solutions. If you act on them, then it's okay, because now you're actually trying to get solutions to them, and you're actually doing work. You're seeing improvement. Things are changing. There's growth. You're doing something. So when you do that, I'm okay with it. Okay, that's fine, because you just, hey, this is what happened. Da 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 da. Okay, cool. Let me help you out. Now, on the flip side, if you're telling me your problems and I'm giving you solutions and you not doing nothing, then we have an issue, a major issue, right? And I don't like that. That's just annoying. You're wasting my time. But we're gonna get on that. We're gonna get on that. Now, on the opposite end, I have called very close friends of mine, even some family members, and I'm just like, this is what's going on. I actually just had it yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I can't say everything in there because this involves other stuff that happened. Anyways, I called my sister and I was like, this day was crazy. And I just loaded it out and just gave it to her. Like, this has happened, that happened. Oh my gosh. Like, bro. And then she sent me a very funny post, like saying just, Monday is closed for the day. Just go back to your bed. And I was like, yes, I need this. Right. So I have done it where I will just say whatever it is that I'm going through, and I just kind of dump it on a person. Now, I've gotten much better at that, and we're going to talk about the solutions, right? So that's kind of a few examples of problem dumping on both sides, dumping it and receiving it. So let's talk about how to stop that, right? So, as y'all know, my first one is my favorite word that starts with the C. And it's not cuss someone out. It is communication, right? Sometimes you gotta cuss somebody out. But the first one is communication. So, here's what I mean. So, we're gonna talk about in the sense of the person dumping the problem on you. So, the first thing you wanna do is communicate. Now, how do you do this? Because some of us are just willing to cuss people out. Some of us are willing to do things that just make stuff worse. So the first thing you do is question them, right? These are some examples. After they told you their whole life story for the third time this week, you pretty much just say, have you tried the things I suggested? With the look. You know what I mean? With the look. You have the look, just it reinforces the oomph with it. Like, have you tried everything that I suggested? Right? Because if you've told them solutions and they're not listening, right? Sometimes you just have to ask that question, like, okay, did you try it? If they say no, be like, okay. If they say yes, and then there's no improvements, then it's just like, okay, maybe that's when it's on you. Then you can either suggest maybe a better solution, or you might have to pull a, hey, I don't think I'm the one to help you with this. I don't think I can help you out with that. I apologize. You know what I mean? But you don't got nothing to apologize for, but it's just nice to say. Now, the second type of question you can ask them is, we all been there where we're just going through it and people just unload, like I did to my sister. So what the next question would be is, are you venting? Or do you want some solutions? Because you will find that certain people just want to vent and they're not looking for solutions. They just want to tell you their problems, and they don't want to hear how to fix it, right? So that's just human nature, just be honest. So that's why you have to ask the question, are you venting? Or do you want some solutions? Because if they're just venting, then you know, okay, I'm not going to waste my time trying to give you solutions because you just want to vent. Now, if they say, I actually want some solutions, then that's when you have to come in and actually give them some solutions, like if you choose to. Now, on the other side of that is, if you don't want to deal with them or the venting and things like that, you can just go to the last thing I said is, I don't think I'm the one you should be telling, because everything I suggest don't work. Or it's just like, hey, I don't think I can help you out with that. I apologize. And then two, it can be very fucking aggravating when people just just clipping it on you. So if you, there's also another thing I didn't write in here, but another thing is with the communication is if they're literally just unloading and you talk with them and stuff like that, and you clearly see they're throwing themselves in a situation, then that's when you're gonna have to do something different, which we're actually going to talk about. That's gonna be the third thing. But before I get to that last part, we're gonna go into the third thing because it's gonna come back into communication. So here's the second thing, right? So there's three in total. The first one's going to be communication. The second is going to be distance yourself. And the third is going to be give them the truth. So the first one was communication. Hopping onto the second one is distance yourself. This is how you do that. I say distance yourself via if you're working with them and you can't really okay, I'm gonna quit the job, or it's somebody that you can easily distance. But if you're in a position where you cannot just easily okay, leave them alone. I'm not gonna say no names because I don't know if this person's higher ups is listening to this. So I'm gonna focus this on you if your higher up is listening to this. But if they are one of the higher ups, you know what I mean, then the first thing you want to do when it comes to distancing yourself is limiting your communication to important matters, right? This is very easy. So people will come to you, oh, hey, how's it going? Well, so and so, or let me tell you, it's oh, there's ways to, let me walk you through these waters because I actually love doing this. So I'm gonna have to do this through examples. There are certain people that I work with who will tell me try to tell me their problems, and I ain't trying to hear them. So the one will come, oh, hey, I had to tell you. Did you know? I'm like, oh, my bad. I gotta go do this right quick, but I'll be right back for you. You know what I mean? Go do your thing. Do what you gotta do. Now, if it's something importante, right, you need to tell them, then you like, hey, because they're gonna try to bring it up. You like, hey, in this particular case, I was wondering, did you know about so-and-so or how to do this? Because whatever it is, whatever you got to do, just say it to them. And then you end it with, do you think you can do this, or do you think this is this? Because now you're changing them from just waiting to you to be finished to just respond to now you have them thinking of a solution or thinking of whatever it is to the answer to your question. So you have to switch that in there. Everybody can do that. So you want to switch that. Do you think you know how to do this, or do you think you can do that for me? Or do you think right? So this is how you start to take back that power and do these little communication tips, right? Do you think? Because now that's going to switch them from, oh, I'm just waiting for this Negro to finish talking so I can tell him my problems, to, oh, do you think you can do it? Oh, yeah, I should be. Oh, okay, great. I need X, And then after that, thank you, and keep it moving, right? Once you do this enough, which I think I talked about this in a previous episode, I don't know if it's the one before last. I can't think of it, but it is one of those. But when you do that, you start to create this energy of I ain't trying to hear all of that, but I do need to talk to you about important matters that I have to deal with. Now, if this is outside of work or an environment that you can easily get out of or can't get out of, then it's just simple as just not replying as much, or I would even throw the dagger questions. If someone's constantly dumping their problems on you, next thing I would just say, again, this is an environment that you can just either get away from and it's not bothering you. Did you find any solutions? Did you ask somebody who's experienced? What are you doing about it? And when you do that, the person will either do two things. One, they'll have an attitude, and they probably gonna stop talking to you. And that's between them, their problems, and their blood pressure. And it has nothing to do with you. The second thing is they'll probably say, oh, well, do you have any suggestions? And then boom, giving them suggestions. And again, after that, they do with that as they may. You leave it at that. Now, another thing is, once you do this, you have to master how to respond with closed answers, right? I'm a person, I love everything to be open, but there's times where you have to respond with closed answers. So this is what I mean by a closed answer. Now, and I have to give you the opposite. So if someone says, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm thinking of doing sorry, I'm working on this project right now, but I'm not really sure. Should I move it this way or should I move it that way? What do you think? Right? That's an open answer, right? I'm telling them what I'm doing and I'm asking them, for the feedback. A closed answer is if they were to say, oh, what are you doing? I'm working on this project, but you just gave me a great idea. Thank you. I'll be right back, and go. Or you can, this is me being nice. If you kind of over the being nice and you want to just say it like it is, like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I was working on this project. Keep it moving, right? You don't even have to say nothing else. Now, that's kind of mean, but you're setting the energy of like, I ain't in the mood to talk, right? And they'll either respond like, oh, okay. And that's when you just keep it moving, right? Once you do this, you're distancing yourself, but you're also learning how to communicate you're also learning how to communicate this energy of distancing yourself, of I ain't trying to talk with you like that, but I'm not going to be an asshole to you. I'm gonna respond to you, but I'm not going to have this open. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speak with you because you want to keep those lines of communications open if you're in an environment where you can't really necessarily just get out of. So you want to keep that communication channel open so that whatever needs to be talked about can be talked about. Because when there's a lot of issues in the communication, issues with the relationship, the communication can kind of suffer. So you do not want that to happen. Now, again, flip side, if you're in an environment where an environment where you can just kind of get away with stuff and you're just texting a person or they somewhere else, then again, that's on your call. Do you want to keep a relationship with this person? Are they negative? Are they toxic? Are they constantly always dumping their problems on you? That's where you have to really evaluate the relationship. I'm going to say that is when you are in that environment, again, evaluate the relationship. Are they only calling you every time to tell you their problems? And if so, I'm pretty sure by now you probably not going to answer the phone, right? But, just in case you are one of those, I'm trying to help, you might want to limit those conversations or just throw the whole relationship away. I'm all game for that. Now, this is the third thing, which I think everybody really want to hear, because I feel like some of y'all like, okay, you giving me this nice version. You giving me this, I'm gonna have to kind of work with this or work through this with them, and I really don't want to. Like, I really don't care about them like that. Like, that's a waste of my time. I can put that energy somewhere else. Like that, I feel like you really need to get to the point, because I done got 17 minutes into this episode and you're like not really helping me like I want to be helped. So okay, here's the third thing, is give them the truth. Now, this is where I'm going to slow it down a little bit, because I realize that I'm around people who are also very blunt and they will give them the truth, and y'all ready to just like, empty the clip on people, and it's just like, whoa, like 2 bullets would have been great, but you emptied the whole clip. That was not necessary. So I'm going to rein it back. The third thing is give them the truth. Now, what I mean by this is if you're close enough with them, tell it to them bluntly, but with class. So let me give you some examples. If the person is already dumping their problems on you, you're at your relationship level is about there where you can kind of tell it to them, right? Now, this is why I say you don't empty the clip, but if they're comfortable and open enough to share their problems and what the hell they're going through, then you're at the base level of, okay, I'm close enough to really kind of tell you the truth, right? Tell it to them bluntly. And when I say tell it to them bluntly, I mean like just straight to the point, but do it with class. Here's what I mean. If I was, we'll go in 2 different environments. If I was, let's just say, speaking with we'll say someone in the management position, right? So let's just say I was talking to my district manager, and I went into the office or whatever, and every time we go in there, he'd be telling me about, what's going on with him and his wife and da 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 and all this other stuff. And it's like, I only came in here to really ask you about what we should do with this floor plan. I didn't really need to know what's going on between your wife and her brother-in-law, who I don't think I will ever meet in my life. But yeah, so you know what I mean? So in this particular case, if we constantly do this and we're at that level where he's constantly telling me, at some point, if it's bothering me, I'm gonna have to stop, because this is the thing about problem dumping, is when people are constantly telling you, you have to realize you're contributing to it by not telling them like, hey, this is bothering me, or hey, I don't think I'm the one you need to tell, or every time you telling me this is just negative, da 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 da. You're contributing to it by not communicating. So let me say that one first and foremost. Now, again, now you're at this level. You can tell them to them bluntly, but with class. And here's what I mean. My district manager is saying, you know, I just feel like this, that, and the other. She's doing this, and it's like that. And then it's just like, okay, hey, Rick, like, I don't take this the wrong way. But I just wanted to communicate this to you, but I don't think I'm the person, you know, you should be telling this to, because I just feel like, you know, I can't really help you, and I don't want to keep, you know, I don't want to communicate with you, or I don't want you to tell me this and you're not getting help yourself. You know what I mean? I actually want you to get the solutions, but I just feel like I'm not the person to help you with that. Is there anybody you know who probably is going through or went through the same thing? You probably can ask them, because I think they'll have more experience than I do, because I'm not even married. And I just actually, you know, you're a really cool person. I just want to make sure you get helped. That's class, right? You told it to them, but you didn't unload the clip. You said it, but there's ways to, we call it save face. Like, if you just unload the clip, now that person is kind of embarrassed. They don't know what to feel. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to tell on you, I'm going to expose you, but I'm going to also help you exit, you know, with your clothes on. So it's just like, oh, I caught you, you know, with your drawers down. Oh, haha, we see you. But here's this exit that only I see you, you know, but you can still keep your clothes and nobody won't know that you had your, you know, you had your ass all out. Saving face, right? That way you're telling them, okay, this is I don't think I can help you. You're telling them no, that, you know, maybe you should talk to someone else. And then this is why you say, because I feel like you will have more, you know, like you'll get solutions to what's going on. You suggest different things. So it's like you're still giving them solutions, but you're doing it with class. Now, you may not like that way. You know, you may be like, I just want to unload a clip on them. But again, if you're in an environment where you can't, where, I don't know, your job is involved, or an environment that's going to kind of mess up some things for you, there's ways to go about this. I suggest that way. You communicated it, you said it with class, you told it to them bluntly, and you said it nicely. Again, that's in that environment. We're going to flip the switch a little bit. If this is an environment where you know, ain't gonna mess with your coins or anything like that, then we do something different. Okay, so give me a name here. We're gonna go with, no, can't use that name. I know somebody. We're gonna use Mark. Okay, Mark. All right. So Mark is just telling me all his stuff is going on. I done had it up to here, because y'all can't even see it in the camera. I did that on purpose, up to here with Mark. And Mark is just telling me all this stuff, and it's just like, okay, you know what? Let me. Okay, I got to talk with you, Mark. Now, before I tell you what I'm gonna do with Mark, you want to do this. Do this in private, right? That should be common sense, but you'll find that a lot of people don't know this. Like I said, that example with the district manager, do that in private, right? Now, so we're gonna go to Mark now. Okay, Mark. Okay, bro. You telling me all of this stuff that's going on, but you ain't doing nothing about it. I done told you this, you ain't do it. I told you that, you not doing it. And it's gonna be the third time. You gonna tell me what it is. And this is just me. I'm one of those people. If I'm finna tell it to you like this, I'm finna give you your exact words. You done told me that your girlfriend done cheated on you for the third time, and you don't like that, and you trying to save the relationship with everybody, and you know that you ain't supposed to be with her, and yet you constantly just doing it. Are you afraid? And we talked about this. When I tell you this, then you want to go away from it. So what you gonna do? What we finna do? Because if I have to sit here again and tell you the solution, which you know, leave her ass. If I tell you this, you're wasting my time and yours. You finna be mad. Now you finna be mad because I just called you out. You finna go, and what you gonna do? You finna go right back to her, and then what? Same problem. So what is you want me to do? What do you want? Is this a game? Because I'm done playing. I'm ready to turn it off. Like, what are we doing here? And it's just like, what you want? What's happening? Because I'm not understanding. You're telling me how you're feeling, but this isn't working. So you tell me some solutions. What do you think you should do? Right? That's when you can empty the clip and reload the bitch and empty it some more. That's when you can do that with someone you close with and that's in a different environment, because it's just like you done told them, you done went through the communication, you done distance yourself, and they done close the distance up by coming and find you and tell you all of this stuff. That's when you have to get there. Now again, don't empty the clip, on Mark in front of nobody, because that's just wrong. That's just not good. Do this in private. So when you about ready to give it to Mark, you like, hey, okay, I'm gonna talk with you. I'm gonna talk with you. Not now, but we're gonna talk later. And the last thing on this is tell them that it's affecting your relationship, right? I'm gonna give you the choice of either saying this with class or emptying the clip. Now, I'm gonna give it to you both ways again. When it comes to giving them the truth, and if it's really affecting your relationship, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you want to save the relationship? Do you care about the relationship? And if you don't, then ignore everything else I'm about to say until I get to this gut check. But if you do, you care about the relationship somewhat, a smidget, then continue. So with the district manager example, again, an environment that I can't just, empty the cliff in, then I'm gonna just have to say again, like, hey, I just feel like maybe this is kind of like affecting the relationship, because it's just like, I wanna be able to tell you, what's going on, but I just feel as though it's affecting our relationship, because I understand you're going through these things, but I just don't think I can help you. And so it just makes me feel as though like I really can't be the best or have the best relationship with you, because I just feel like I'm not able to contribute, to some solutions for you. When you say it like that, that has them thinking, that has them feeling some feelings and things like that. Like, oh my gosh, that affected the relationship. Oh my gosh, like you feel this way. You know what I mean? A decent human being will get their ish together and it's going to change up a lot of things, right? You communicate it at that point and they go back to it. Then you're gonna have to do some different things, but that's for a different episode. We're not gonna go into that. You do some different things, but that should work, guys. That should work. Another side, emptying the clip, is you tell them like, hey bro, you telling me all of this stuff, I done told you what to do, and honestly I just feel like it's just affecting our relationship, because it's like you constantly just telling me like problems. I actually want to hear your solutions as well. Like, you telling me all this bad stuff, what's good going on in your life? Like, tell me that as well, you know what I mean, if anything. But if you're gonna constantly keep telling me problems, then I don't want to hear that, bro. Come on, right? Or sis, however you want to do it. So those are the 3 things on how to stop it. I have found that when you just communicate it, that's the first layer. Usually you good. If it still gets to a point, then the second thing is to distance yourself. And if they want to take their asses above and beyond and close the distance by finding your ass, then you're gonna have to do number 3, is give them the truth. Now guys, I done gave it to you how to do it with class. I done gave it to you how to do it in an environment where you can't empty the clip, and I gave it to you in an environment where you can empty that whole bitch out. So the ball is in your court now. You're welcome. Now, let us get into this gut check. Okay. Take a breather and let us begin. So here's the gut check, guys. Oh, for those of y'all who I told y'all know y'all don't have to listen to this point on. I hope you did anyways, because I'm gonna get into this gut check because you might be a problem dumper. So here's the gut check. All right, make sure you're not problem dumping on someone else. Take care that you don't become the problem dumper in your other relationships, right? Now, I'm saying this to you all, and I'm also saying this to myself because I don't really tell my problems to people. If I have something and I'm like maybe struggling with it, there are a particular people that I counsel with, which there is an episode in the podcast. It's in the first season, which is Get Yourself a Counsel. And basically in that episode, it's just like, people that you need to talk to about important things. But if it's problems that you can fix them. Now, in this particular case, there are particular people I will tell particular things to about my life because they get it. Watch that. Listen to that episode and you'll understand. But with this gut check, I want to share with you what I do with my sister. So when it comes to my sister, I talk to her pretty much every day. We talk about everything, literally. So when we have our days where the world is trying us or people are wanting us to take their lives, it's best to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, one of the things that a funny saying that me and my sister have is that, I like my privacy, and I don't think I really look good in orange like that. I like to go out, basically saying we try not to go to jail, right? And sometimes people push us there where it's just like, if I got the bail money, would it be okay? So I say all of this to say this. There's a system that me and my sister have when it comes to some stuff we're going through. When it's a lot, we ask each other, like, okay, before you go, we'll say, are you venting? Which I said in the earlier part of the episode. Are you venting? Or do you need advice? Now, because this is my sister and whatnot, if she's venting, I listen. And I just, oh, okay. And we would give a response. And so, things like that. And then after that, we feel good. Because she vented, she needed to let it out. Or I vented, and I need to let it out. I feel better. And it's funny that when we vent, there's the solutions will come to us of what we could have done differently or what we can do now. That's how it works for us, right? Now, when we say we need advice, we emptying the clip and saying, this is how I feel. This is just, me and my sister, we are very blunt people. So we will say it just like it is. This person pissed me off. I want that whole dead. I want the family lined up next to it. Like, oh yeah, we go there. We laugh because it's just funny. We just say it. We don't mean it for the whole part of the conversation, but it's just funny. It adds, oomph to our conversation, right? That's just us. And so, after I vent, or after I say what it is I need to with my sister, and I say, am I wrong? Like, did I do this wrong? Because if I did, tell me. And the reason why I always say that with my sister is because if I trust her and I'm open enough to share my problems with her, then I'm also open enough and trust her to give me solutions because she knows me very well. So our system is we ask each other the questions before we're about to say it is, are you venting or do you need advice? If you need advice, and the follow-up questions after you say whatever it is, am I wrong or am I right? Do you think I could have done something different? Now, my sister will tell me if I'm wrong. She has no hesitation. Yeah, you fucked up. Oh, well, how did I fuck up? And it'll bother me probably that I fucked up. But if she says it, then I'm like, okay. And I'll think about it. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. Then I'll act on that. But if I'm not wrong, then I was justified in cussing them out. So the system in place is when you're talking with other people about your problems, make sure you're not always talking to them about your problems. Make sure you're actually, handling them, solving them so it's not a problem anymore. Make sure when you're talking with them, you're asking them, you're doing this for solutions. And if not, then you're venting. But at the same time, you owe it to them that you need to tell them the positive things that's going on. Hey, bro, I just wanted to tell you, after you talked to me, this happened. Outside of that, this is going on and things like that. And I wanted to tell you that because, I told you, some stuff that was bothering me, but I also wanted to tell you the positive things too. Harmony, balance, keep that energy, because now that person won't think this person calling me just to tell me about their issues. And you'll notice that when you be trying to call certain friends and they ain't answering the phone as much, maybe you're problem dumping. But when you tell them, like, they're like, oh, hey, bro, what's going on? And you tell them, you're keeping positive energy flowing. So that is a system that me and my sister really have, is just asking those questions before we about to say whatever we about to say. So that's it with the gut check. Now, let us go to the question segment, or the advice segment, sorry. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, basically, if you have any questions, you just message me on Instagram or Facebook, email, whatever. I'll pick two and then I'll answer them in the next episode. So this question is from Tyler, and Tyler says, how do you connect with other people while also staying connected to yourself? I struggle with that. So very easy is actually a very simple thing, Tyler. It may sound weird, but you want to connect with yourself first before you then connect with other people. Meaning you want to make sure all of you is right. So before you start your day, or before your feet touch the floor, meditate and connect with yourself. How are you feeling today? What do you have? What do you want to do today? Check with yourself, really get connected with yourself. Be aware of what it is that you want to do. Do something different for yourself. Maybe eat that ice cream you wanted. Maybe go for a quick 10-minute run or 10-minute bike ride or whatever before you have to go. Take some time for you. Right? So you want to make sure you're good first. Then once your tank is full, you're able to connect with other people. Now, if the part where you struggle with is doing both, in the sense of, okay, how do I connect with this individual while also staying connected with myself, is you want to stay grounded in your own energy. I just had this conversation with actually somebody in the tribe, is you want to stay and grounded with your own energy. You want to make sure your energy is right before you talk with someone else. And then if you're talking with someone, I will say this: if you're connecting with them and you're really trying to connect with them, you do want to take the attention off of yourself, the focus off of yourself, and actually listen to what that person is saying. Because if you're kind of trying to stay in you and then listen to this other person and you keep ping-ponging about yourself, it's not going to really work. And if that's what you're struggling with, I would tell you that if you really want to connect with the person, you're going to have to stop thinking about what's going on in your world, what you're doing, and lean in and really listen to what this person is saying. Really connect and receive, hear what's, they're saying under the, undertones, So that's what you want to do when it comes with connecting to other people. But I would say to make sure you nice and well is doing what you need to do for yourself first. Just to give you an internal example of what I mean, when I'm not connected with myself and I'm trying to connect with people, it just feels off, right? I feel like I'm not paying attention as much. I'm more irritated. I feel that I can get a little bit more apathetic than empathetic. So that's when I know, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have hey, I'm gonna have to call you back or talk to you later or whatever it is. Hey, bro, I gotta go. I'll be back. I gotta go do something right quick. And I'd go take some time for me and then come back. Now, when I do what I need to do for myself, meditate, eating something, taking, 10 minutes with the phone turned off, not on airplane mode, but turned off to really just get what I need. And then I come back, I feel full within myself. And I'm able to then communicate with other people because everything in me is full. So Tyler, I hope that helped you. Now, Vicky, I love this. Vicky, you're the best. Vicky says, I'm an ambivert. So am I, Vicky. So am I. I'm an ambivert, but I struggle with it sometimes. I want to be around people, and other days I want to be away from this planet. And that part just hit my soul. So she says, LOL, am I crazy? No, you are not, Vicky. I get it. Some days, I'm here on Earth doing what I'm supposed to do, for people and myself. And then other days I'm like, I'm ready to leave this planet. You know what I mean? I done put in my work. I done clocked in. Let me go. Right? So no, you're not crazy. I will say one thing that's very important as an ambivert is you need to know how you recharge. Because some of us who are ambiverts, we recharge in solitude, and some of us we recharge around people. So I would say first you need to know how you recharge, and if you know that, then you're good. But I would definitely say no, you're not crazy. I will say there is this harmony that definitely needs to happen. Like, okay, I spent some time here on Earth. I done did what I needed to do. I done did my work. I done helped some people. I done socialized. Now I'm gonna take the rest of the night and I'm gonna turn my phone off, or I'm not gonna deal with nobody, and that's okay. So it has to be this harmony. But no, you're definitely not crazy. I just feel like when you feel that feeling like I need to leave this planet, that means you need to be in solitude. So no, you're not crazy. And with that being said, guys, that is it for today's episode. Thank you again, Kyle, for this topic. You are the best. Let me know how this works in your world. For all of the rest of you who are listening to this episode, make sure you're not a problem dumper, because we don't like that. So with that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I know some of you guys are just waking up, and some of you, I think it's already Wednesday. So yeah, it is already Wednesday for some of you who are about to listen to this. But yeah, so with that being said, guys, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And just a shout out to everybody just in the world, because I'm just seeing a lot of different people from different continents tuning in on the podcast. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I appreciate your support, and I will talk to you all very soon. Later.